Hello and welcome back to JVC English Learning Academy. My name is Laura, and I'm here to guide you on your journey to clear, confident, and natural English. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a lesson. Your support truly helps this channel grow. Alright, take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin today's session. Imagine this. You are sitting alone in a quiet place. Maybe it is early morning. Maybe it is late at night. The world around you is calm. You open a book, an article, or something on your phone. The words are in English. You know many of these words. You have studied English for years. You are not a beginner anymore. You are around C1 level. But still, something feels difficult. You read one sentence. You understand the words. You read the next sentence. You understand the words too. But when you finish the paragraph, you stop. You ask yourself a simple but painful question. Do I really understand this? This moment is very important. This quiet moment before understanding is where real reading comprehension begins. And today, in this long story, we will walk together through this moment. Slowly, calmly, with curiosity. This is not just a lesson. This is a journey. A journey to help you read English like a thinker, like a storyteller, like a human, not like a machine. Welcome to JVC English Learning Academy. Take a deep breath. Let us begin. Many English learners believe reading comprehension is about speed. They think, if I read faster, I am better. But this is not true. Speed without understanding is empty. Real reading is not a race. Real reading is like listening to a friend tell a story. You do not rush your friend. You listen. You feel. You imagine. You connect ideas. In advanced reading, the problem is not vocabulary. The problem is attention. The problem is focus. The problem is patience. At C1 level, the text is not asking, do you know this word? The text is asking, can you think with me? This is the challenge. And many learners feel tired here. They feel frustrated. They feel stuck. But this is also the doorway to transformation. Let me tell you a small story. There was a learner named Alex. Alex was smart. Alex studied English for many years. Alex could speak well. Alex could write emails, reports, even essays. But Alex hated reading long English texts. Articles felt heavy. Books felt slow. After reading, Alex felt confused and tired. One day, Alex said something very honest. Alex said, when I read in English, my eyes move, but my mind does not. This sentence is powerful. Maybe you feel the same. Your eyes move. The words pass. But the meaning does not stay. This is not because you are weak. This is because no one taught you how to read deeply in a second language. Here is a secret. Native speakers also struggle with reading. Yes, they do. They stop. They reread. They get confused. The difference is not ability. The difference is relationship. Native speakers allow themselves to not understand everything. They are comfortable with confusion. English learners often feel fear. Fear of missing something. Fear of being stupid. Fear of not being good enough. This fear blocks understanding. Reading comprehension at an advanced level is not about knowing more. It is about relaxing more. So let us slow down. Imagine you are reading again. This time, you do not rush. You read one sentence. You stop. You ask a simple question. Why is this sentence here? Not what does it mean, but why did the writer choose this? This question changes everything. Now you are not a student. You are a listener. You are inside a conversation. The writer is speaking. You are listening. This is how comprehension grows. Advanced reading is about seeing the invisible. The writer does not say everything directly. The writer suggests. The writer hints. The writer expects you to connect ideas. This can feel scary, but it can also feel exciting. Think of it like a mystery. You are not lost. You are exploring. Each paragraph is a small room. Each sentence is an object in that room. You look around. You touch things. You ask, what is important here? Not everything is important. This is another big lesson. You do not need to remember everything. You need to feel the direction. Many learners try to understand every word. They stop for every unknown word. They use a dictionary again and again. This breaks the flow. Imagine watching a movie and stopping every 5 seconds. You would never feel the story. Reading is the same. At C1 level, you must trust yourself. If a word is not important, let it go. If the idea continues without that word, move on. Meaning lives in movement, not in control. Let us return to Alex. Alex decided to change one thing. Instead of asking, "What does this mean?" Alex started asking, "What is the point?" This simple change created a big shift. When Alex read an article, Alex did not fight the text. Alex followed it. Like walking with someone in a forest. Sometimes the path is clear. Sometimes it is not. But you keep walking. You do not stop every time the road curves. You trust the journey. This is the first advanced tip for reading comprehension. Read for direction, not perfection. Direction means you understand where the text is going. Is it explaining? Is it arguing? Is it telling a story? Is it warning? Is it inviting? When you know the direction, small details become easier. Without direction, details feel heavy and confusing. Now, I want you to imagine something else. Imagine you are the writer. Before you read, ask yourself, why was this written? Every text has a reason. To teach, to persuade, to entertain, to question. When you read with this question, your brain becomes active. You are not passive. You are working with the text. This is deep comprehension. At advanced level, reading is not about English anymore. It is about thinking in English. This is a big step. Many learners can translate well, but translation is slow. It creates distance. Real reading feels direct. You read and you feel. You read and you see images. You read and you hear a voice. This takes time. It takes practice. And it takes kindness toward yourself. Let us talk about one common challenge. Long sentences. English academic or advanced texts love long sentences. Many learners feel lost inside them. Here is a gentle trick. Do not fight the sentence. Listen to it. Long sentences have rhythm. They move forward. Often, the main idea is near the beginning, and the rest is support. You do not need to hold everything in your mind. Let the sentence flow. If you miss something, it is okay. The next sentence often explains it again in a new way. This is another secret. Good writers repeat ideas. Not with the same words, but with the same meaning. This is a gift. Use it. If you did not understand something, keep reading. Trust that clarity will come later. Reading is not a test. It is a conversation over time. Now pause for a moment. Think about how you usually read. Do you feel tense? Do you feel pressure? Do you feel like you must understand everything now? If yes, gently release that pressure. Reading comprehension grows when the mind is open. Not tight. Not afraid. Open. At JBC English Learning Academy, we believe English is not just a language. It is a human experience. Reading is not about proving your level. It is about connecting with ideas, emotions, and perspectives. When you read with this mindset, something changes. You stop asking, "Am I good enough?" and you start asking, "What can I learn here?" This section is the beginning of your transformation. Not because you learned many techniques, but because you changed your relationship with reading. You learned to slow down. You learned to listen. You learned to trust yourself. This is the foundation. Without this foundation, no advanced tip will work. With this foundation, everything becomes easier. So here is your takeaway from this first part. Advanced reading comprehension begins in silence, in patience, in curiosity. Do not chase understanding. Invite it. Sit with the text. Walk with it. Let it speak. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. In the next section, we will go deeper. We will explore how to read between the lines, how to feel the writer's intention, and how to train your mind to stay focused for long texts without feeling tired. Stay with me. The story is just beginning. There is a moment that happens when you read something in English, and it is very quiet. The words are clear. The sentences make sense. But still, you feel something more is there. Something unsaid. Something hidden. This moment is not a problem. This moment is an invitation. At advanced level, reading is no longer only about what is written. It is about what is suggested, what is implied, what lives between the lines. Many learners feel nervous here. They think, if it is not written, how can I know it? But this is exactly how real communication works. Humans do not say everything directly. Writers trust readers. And now, the writer is trusting you. Let us imagine you are listening to a friend. Your friend says, "It was a long day." That sentence is simple, but you know it means more. It may mean your friend is tired, or stressed, or sad. The real meaning depends on context, tone, and what you already know. Reading works the same way. The writer gives you signals. Your job is to notice them. Not perfectly, just gently. Many English learners read like robots. Sentence by sentence. Word by word. But writers do not write like robots. They write like humans. They have feelings, opinions, attitudes. Sometimes they agree. Sometimes they criticize. Sometimes they doubt. Advanced reading means you begin to feel the writer's voice. Is it calm? Is it angry? Is it hopeful? Is it warning you? These emotions guide meaning. Let us return to Alex. After learning to read for direction, Alex met a new challenge. Alex understood the topic, but still missed deeper meaning. One day, Alex read an article that said, "This solution sounds promising, but history tells us to be careful." Alex understood the words, but Alex did not feel the message. Later, Alex realized something important. The word, but changed everything. That small word told the reader, do not fully trust this idea. This is reading between the lines. Small words are powerful. Words like but, however, although, yet, and still are not just grammar. They are signals. They show contrast. They show doubt. They show change. When you see these words, slow down. Ask yourself, what is changing here? Often, the real opinion of the writer comes after these words. Another signal is repetition. When a writer repeats an idea using different words, it means the idea is important. The writer wants you to remember it. You do not need to remember every detail. Remember what is repeated. That is the heart of the text. Sometimes, the writer uses examples. Examples are not decoration. They are explanations. If an idea feels unclear, look at the example. The example is the bridge between abstract and real. Many learners skip examples because they feel long. But examples are your friend. They slow the text down and make ideas human. Now let us talk about tone. Tone is how something is said. A writer can say the same idea in many ways. This approach is interesting feels different from this approach is dangerously simple. The facts may be similar, but the attitude is different. When you read, listen for this attitude. Is the writer confident? Careful? Critical? Supportive? This helps you understand the true message. Here is a simple practice. When you finish a paragraph, pause. Ask yourself one question. What does the writer want me to feel or think? Not what did the writer say, but what does the writer want? This question moves you deeper into comprehension. Another challenge at advanced level is irony or indirect criticism. Sometimes writers do not criticize directly. They use polite language, or they say the opposite of what they mean in a soft way. This can be confusing, but there are clues. If the writer praises something too much or says surprisingly or interestingly before a negative fact, they may be questioning it. Do not worry if you miss this sometimes. Even native speakers miss it. The goal is awareness, not perfection. Alex began to practice this. Alex stopped reading fast. Alex began to listen for signals. One day, Alex finished an article and felt something new. Alex felt understanding without effort. Not every word, not every detail, but the soul of the text. This is advanced comprehension. Let us talk about background knowledge. Every text lives in a world. The writer assumes some things. Culture, history, common ideas. If you do not know these things, comprehension feels harder. This is normal. Do not blame yourself. Instead, ask, what is the writer assuming I already know? Sometimes you can guess. Sometimes you cannot. And that is okay. You can still understand the main idea. One helpful habit is this. Before reading deeply, look at the title. Look at the first paragraph. Ask, what do I already know about this topic? Even a little knowledge helps. It gives your mind a place to connect new ideas. Another important skill is tolerance for uncertainty. This is very important. Advanced readers are comfortable not understanding everything. They continue reading even when something is unclear. They trust that meaning will grow. This trust reduces stress. And less stress means better comprehension. At JBC English Learning Academy, we believe listening and reading are sisters. When you read, hear a voice in your head. Read slowly. Feel the rhythm. Do not rush. Reading is not about finishing. It is about experiencing. Here is your transformation moment in this section. You realize that understanding is not only in the words. It is in the space around the words. It is in tone. It is in contrast. It is in repetition. You stop reading like a student and start reading like a human listener. Your takeaway from this section is simple. Read with curiosity, not fear. Look for signals. Trust your intuition. Meaning is not hidden to hurt you. It is hidden to invite you to think. In the next section, we will explore how to stay focused during long texts, how to avoid mental fatigue, and how to build reading stamina in English without stress. Stay with me. The story continues. There is a quiet enemy that appears when you read long texts in English. It is not vocabulary. It is not grammar. It is not even difficulty. The enemy is fatigue. Your eyes continue moving, but your mind slowly falls asleep. You reach the end of a page and realize you remember nothing. This moment can feel frustrating and embarrassing. You may think, I am advanced. Why does this still happen to me? But this happens to everyone, even native speakers. The difference is not who gets tired. The difference is who knows how to wake the mind again. Long texts ask for a different kind of attention. Not strong attention. Soft attention. Like holding a bird in your hands. If you squeeze too hard, you hurt it. If you are too loose, it flies away. Reading stamina grows when attention is gentle and active at the same time. Alex faced this problem deeply. Alex could understand short articles. But books, long essays, or reports felt impossible. After 10 minutes, the mind wandered. Alex tried to force focus, but forcing only made it worse. One day, Alex discovered something simple. Focus is not continuous. It comes and goes. The goal is not to stay focused forever. The goal is to return to focus again and again without judgment. Let us talk about mental rhythm. Your brain likes change. When reading is too passive, the brain becomes bored. When reading is too difficult, the brain becomes stressed. Both lead to fatigue. The solution is interaction. Not notes. Not underlining everything. Interaction in your mind. Here is a powerful but simple habit. After each paragraph, pause for 3 seconds. Just 3. In your mind, say one short sentence. This paragraph is about, that is all. You do not need perfect language. You do not need details. This small pause wakes the brain. It creates checkpoints. You are no longer lost in a long road. You are walking from one light to another. Another reason long texts feel heavy is emotional distance. When you do not care, your brain resists. Even serious texts have emotion. The emotion may be curiosity, concern, warning, or hope. Ask yourself, why should I care about this? Sometimes the answer is not big, but even a small reason helps. Let us imagine reading is traveling. You do not enjoy a trip by staring at the road the whole time. You enjoy it by noticing places, changes, and moments. In reading, these are shifts in ideas. When the writer changes direction, pay attention. Words like now, however, in contrast, or on the other hand, are signs of movement. Movement keeps the mind awake. Alex began to practice active reading. Alex did not read faster. Alex read smarter. When the mind wandered, Alex did not panic. Alex simply went back one sentence. Calmly. Without anger. This kindness created endurance. Another challenge is inner translation. Many advanced learners still translate inside their head when tired. Translation is heavy. It uses more energy. When you feel tired, let go of translation. Allow unclear parts to pass. Focus on general meaning. This saves energy and keeps you moving. Let us talk about time. Many learners think they need long hours to build stamina. This is not true. Short, regular reading is better. 15 minutes of focused reading every day is stronger than 2 hours once a week. The brain learns rhythm. It learns safety. Over time, long texts stop feeling dangerous. At JVC English Learning Academy, we teach English as a living experience. When reading feels alive, fatigue decreases. One way to do this is to imagine the writer sitting in front of you. Imagine their voice, their pauses, their emphasis. This turns reading into listening. And listening is more natural. Here is another advanced tip. When you feel tired, ask a question. Any question. Do I agree? Is this true? What would I say back? Questions create energy. They pull you into the text. You are no longer receiving. You are responding. Alex reached a turning point. One day, Alex read for 30 minutes without checking the time. Not because it was easy, but because it was engaging. The text felt like a dialogue. This is the goal. Not effort. Engagement. Reflection is important here. Fatigue is not failure. It is feedback. It tells you how you are reading. If you listen, you can adjust. Slow down. Speed up. Pause. Continue. Reading is flexible. Your transformation in this section is simple but powerful. You stop blaming yourself for getting tired. You learn how to wake your mind gently. You build stamina through kindness and curiosity. Your takeaway is this. Long reading is not about strength. It is about rhythm. Find your rhythm. Respect it. And slowly, your endurance will grow. In the next section, we will explore how to truly understand complex ideas, how to simplify without losing meaning, and how to think in English while reading. Stay with me. The journey continues. There is a moment every English learner dreams of. It is the moment when you stop translating. You read English and meaning appears directly in your mind. No dictionary. No native language. Just understanding. For many learners, this feels like magic. But it is not magic. It is a skill. And like all skills, it grows step by step, quietly, patiently. At advanced level, the biggest barrier to deep comprehension is not lack of knowledge. It is habit. The habit of translation. Translation helped you in the past. It was necessary. It was useful. But now it is heavy. It slows you down. It creates distance between you and meaning. Thinking in English while reading is not about forcing your brain. It is about giving it permission. Alex struggled here for a long time. Even when Alex understood ideas, the mind often moved back to the native language. This was automatic, not a choice. Alex felt frustrated. But then Alex learned something important. You cannot stop translation by fighting it. You stop it by replacing it. Let us talk about images. Language is not only words. It is pictures. When you read, try to see. If the text describes a situation, imagine it. If it describes a problem, imagine someone facing it. Images bypass translation. They go directly to understanding. Children learn language through images, not definitions. You can too. Another powerful tool is emotion. Ask yourself, how does this feel? Is the situation tense? Calm? Hopeful? Emotional understanding is faster than logical understanding. When you feel first, the words follow naturally. Complex ideas are another challenge. Advanced texts often talk about abstract concepts. These can feel heavy. The key is simplification. Not reducing meaning, but reducing pressure. After reading a complex paragraph, say it again in your own simple English. Just one sentence. Even a short one. This is thinking in English. You are not translating. You are recreating meaning. Here is an important truth. You do not need perfect grammar in your thoughts. Thinking is messy. That is okay. The goal is clarity, not correctness. Many learners wait to think until they have perfect words. This stops flow. Let your thoughts be simple and broken. Over time, they become smooth. Alex practiced this daily. Alex stopped asking, how do I say this in my language, and started asking, what is happening here? This shift changed everything. Reading became faster, lighter, more enjoyable. Let us talk about unknown words. Unknown words often push learners back into translation. But advanced readers treat unknown words differently. They guess. They feel the word. They look at context. They do not panic. Most of the time, you do not need the exact meaning. You need the role of the word. Is it positive or negative? Is it an action or a description? This is enough. At JBC English Learning Academy, we believe thinking in English grows through trust. Trust your intuition. Trust your experience. Your brain is smarter than you think. It connects patterns naturally when you let it. There is also the idea of inner voice. When you read, hear yourself reading. Slowly. Naturally. This voice should sound like you, not like a test. When the voice is calm, understanding flows. Alex reached another realization. Thinking in English is not an on-off switch. It comes in waves. Sometimes you think in English. Sometimes you translate. This is normal. Do not judge it. Celebrate the moments when thinking in English appears. They will grow. Reflection is important here. When you finish reading, do not rush away. Sit for a moment. What stayed in your mind? What idea? What feeling? This is real comprehension. Not memory of words, but memory of meaning. Your transformation in this section is gentle but deep. You stop forcing English. You allow it. You move from control to trust. Your takeaway is this. Thinking in English while reading is not about stopping your language. It is about starting your imagination. See, feel, simplify, trust. In the next and final section, we will bring everything together. You will learn how to turn reading into confident listening and speaking, and how to carry the skill into real life. Stay with me. The story is almost complete. There comes a quiet moment, after all the effort, after all the practice, when something changes. You may not notice it immediately. There is no loud sound, no clear signal. But one day, you finish reading a long text in English and you feel calm. Not proud, not tired, just calm. You know what it was about. You know what the writer wanted to say. And most importantly, you feel that the meaning stayed with you. This is real understanding. This is the moment everything comes together. Advanced reading comprehension is not a separate skill. It connects directly to listening, speaking, and even thinking. When you read deeply, you train your mind to follow ideas. When you follow ideas, you can listen better. When you listen better, you speak with more clarity. This is the circle. And now you're inside it. Alex reached this stage slowly. There was no single breakthrough day. But Alex noticed something new in conversations. When people spoke English, Alex could follow long explanations more easily. When someone shared an opinion, Alex understood the direction, not just the words. Reading had trained the mind to stay present. Let us talk about connection. When you read an article or a story, do not leave it on the page. Bring it into your life. Ask yourself, do I agree? Have I seen this before? What would I say if someone asked me about this? These questions turn passive knowledge into active language. One powerful habit is retelling. After reading, try to explain the idea out loud. Not perfectly, not formally, just like telling a friend. This is where reading becomes speaking. You may feel slow at first. That is okay. Fluency grows through use, not silence. Another important idea is patience with yourself. At C1 level, progress is quiet. You do not learn many new words every day. You do not feel dramatic improvement. But your depth increases. Your confidence increases. Your comfort increases. This is real progress. At JVC English Learning Academy, our goal is not to help you pass a test. Our goal is to help you live in English. Reading is a doorway to that life. Through reading, you meet ideas, cultures, emotions, and perspectives. You grow not only as a language learner, but as a thinker. Let us reflect on the journey. You learn to slow down. You learn to read for direction. You learn to notice signals. You learn to manage fatigue. You learn to think in English. These are not tricks. They're habits. And habits shape the mind. Here is the final transformation. You stop seeing English texts as challenges. You start seeing them as invitations. Invitations to listen, to think, to grow. Your final takeaway is simple and powerful. Understanding is not something you chase. It is something you allow. When you read with calm curiosity, English opens naturally. Thank you for staying with me through this long story. You are not alone on this journey. Keep reading. Keep listening. Keep trusting yourself. There is one final shift that happens when reading comprehension truly becomes part of you. It is the moment when you stop being only a reader and start becoming a storyteller. Not someone who tells perfect stories. Not someone who uses big words. But someone who can follow meaning, carry it, and share it naturally. This is the highest level of understanding. And it grows quietly from everything you have practiced so far. At this stage, English is no longer something outside you. It is not a subject. It is not a challenge. It is a space you can enter. When you read, you do not just receive information. You collect ideas. You store feelings. You remember structures. And later, when you speak or listen, these things return to you naturally, without effort. Alex noticed this change in a simple moment. Someone asked Alex a question about a topic from an article read weeks ago. Alex did not remember the article word by word. But Alex remembered the idea, the direction, the feeling, and Alex answered calmly, clearly, in English. That was the moment Alex understood. Reading had become part of thinking. This is why storytelling is so powerful. Stories are how humans remember. When you read with emotion and curiosity, your brain stores English in stories, not rules. This makes listening easier. When someone speaks, you are not decoding words. You are following a story. And when you speak, you do the same. You guide the listener. You choose direction. You pause. You continue. Let us talk about confidence. Confidence in English does not come from knowing everything. It comes from trusting that you can follow meaning even when things are unclear. Reading trained you for this. You learned to live with uncertainty. You learned to wait for clarity. You learned to stay calm. These skills move directly into real conversations. Another important realization is this. You do not need to sound like a native speaker to sound clear. Clarity comes from structure and intention. When you read deeply, you learn how ideas are built, how writers introduce, develop, and conclude thoughts. Without studying formulas, you absorb them. And later, they appear in your speech. At JVC English Learning Academy, we believe advanced English is not about adding more. It is about refining. You already have the tools. Reading comprehension helped you organize them. It helped you slow down. It helped you listen. Now, let us reflect one last time. Remember the first quiet moment. Sitting alone. Reading. Feeling unsure. That version of you is not weak. That version of you is at the door. And now you have stepped inside. Your final reflection is this. English fluency is not a destination. It is a relationship. Reading is one of the deepest ways to build that relationship. Through reading, you learn patience. You learn empathy. You learn flow. Now the story moves out of the page and into the world around you. This is where everything you practiced quietly begins to live. Reading comprehension is no longer something you do only when you sit with a text. It becomes something you carry with you when you listen to people, when you watch videos, when you think, and when you speak. English starts to feel present, not distant. Imagine a normal day. You hear someone speaking English in a video or a podcast. Before, you may have tried to catch every word. You may have felt nervous when you missed something. But now, something is different. You listen for direction. You listen for intention. You listen for emotion. Just like when you read. You are not lost when you miss a word. You stay with the story. Alex experienced this change slowly. At first, Alex did not notice it. But one day, while listening to a long talk in English, Alex realized something surprising. The talk ended, and Alex understood the main idea clearly. Not perfectly. Not every detail. But clearly. And more importantly, Alex felt relaxed. This relaxation was new. And it came from reading. Reading had trained Alex to stay present with meaning, to tolerate uncertainty, to trust the flow. These skills moved naturally into listening. And listening, in turn, supported speaking. Let us talk about speaking now. Many learners believe speaking fluently means speaking fast. This is not true. Speaking fluently means speaking with direction. When you speak, you are also a storyteller. Even when you answer a simple question, you are guiding the listener. Reading taught you how ideas move, how they begin, how they develop, how they end. Now, when you speak, you feel this structure inside you. Here is a simple but powerful habit. After reading something interesting, tell the story to yourself. Out loud. Slowly. Use simple English. Do not worry about mistakes. This is not practice for perfection. This is practice for flow. When you do this regularly, your speaking becomes calmer and clearer. Another important part of everyday English is confidence in not knowing. In real life, you will not understand everything. Native speakers do not either. The difference is reaction. When you react with fear, communication stops. When you react with curiosity, communication continues. Reading taught you curiosity. Use it. At JVC English Learning Academy, we believe English should feel friendly. Not like a test. Not like pressure. When English feels friendly, your mind opens. And when your mind opens, learning becomes natural. Let us close this long journey with one final image. Imagine English as a river. At first, you stand at the edge. You test the water. It feels cold. You are careful. Over time, you step in. You learn how to move. You learn how to float. Reading is what taught you how to float. Now, the river carries you. Your final takeaway is this. You do not need to push English into your life. Let it enter gently. Through reading. Through listening. Through simple reflection. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Thank you for staying until the end. This is JVC English Learning Academy.